let's study the role of the adverb in a clause. The adverb specifies the description. The descriptive words are classified into a verb to describe a subject of a clause, a determiner, or an adjective to describe an indicated one, which has a role as a subject or an object in a clause, and the adverb to specify the description about an indicated one. With the preceded discussion about the role of each descriptive word, the adverb specifies the definition of a verb, a determiner, or an adjective, or another adverb. The adverb describes the object indirectly to specify the definition of the verb, determiner, or an adjective to describe the object directly, or the definition of another adverb. The verb describes a subject in a clause directly. Then the adverb to describe the definition of the verb describes the subject in the clause indirectly. The adverb describes the subject via the verb. So, the adverb describes the subject indirectly. In the same way, an adjective or a determiner describes an indicated one. The indicated one has a role as a subject or an object in a clause. Then, an adverb to specify the definition of the determiner or the adjective describes the indicated one indirectly. The adverb describes the indicated one indirectly. How about an adverb describes the other adverb? The other adverb to specify the definition of the adverb describes the object indirectly as the first role of the adverb in a clause is this. The adverb describes a verb applied in the same clause. There is a clause, he salutes me politely. The adverb politely specifies the action indicated by the transitive verb salute for listeners to visualize the action vividly. So we can know that the word politely is a kind of an adverb, and the adverb politely specifies how the subject indicated by the personal pronoun he happens, the action indicated by the verb salute. The effect of the specification by the adverb is that we can understand the condition of the subject very clearly. We didn't see the condition that the subject happens the action, but we can even visualize the condition of the subject. So what if there isn't the adverb? He salutes me. The clause conveys the intention of the speaker, but we cannot understand the condition vividly like this clause with the adverb. Because the adverb is additional to a clause. This clause can be divided into two clauses. He salutes me. The way he salutes me is polite. The two clauses are infused into this clause. He salutes me politely. The second rule of the adverb is this. The adverb describes a determiner or an adjective applied in the same clause. There are two clauses. The first one is this. He is the very first student. The second clause is this. She is really humble. Let's study with the first clause. The adverb very emphasizes the definition of the determiner first to specify the object indicated by the noun student, so that the range of the object indicated by the noun student is strictly specified. The adverb very specifies the definition of the determiner first, which is one of the ordinary number. With the application of the adverb very, the speaker can convey the intention that the speaker wants to specify the exact object indicated by the noun student. The listeners can consider the existence of the object indicated by the phrase of the noun, the first student. The listeners can think of the other options that there are students specified with the two determiners, the and first, but with the consideration of the speaker's intention to specify the object with the adverb very, the listeners figure out the only object that are indicated by the phrase of the noun, the first student. There can be other first students, but the speaker wants to specify the very first student. The second clause is this. She's really humble. The adverb really emphasizes the intensity of the definition that the adjective humble conveys to specify the condition of the subject, who is a female and not a participant in the conversation. We can figure out the word really is classified into an adverb. We can also notice that the adverb really is rooted from the same descriptive word with the adjective real. The form of the adverb lets us know that the adverb from the same root with an adjective or a verb. The adverb really specifies the definition of the adjective humble. The listeners can figure out how the condition of the subject indicated by the personal pronoun she is with the specification by the adverb really. The condition of the subject is the specification by the adverb really lets the clause convey the closest intention of the speaker. The third role of the adverb is this. The adverb describes the definition of another adverb applied in the same clause. Because an adverb is also a descriptive word and the adverb describes the descriptive word, an adverb is able to describe another adverb. There is a clause, I love you so much. In this clause, there are two adverbs. The first adverb, much, which is introduced as one of, also has a trait as an adverb. The adverb much describes the definition of the transitive verb love. So the listeners can figure out the intensity of the definition of the transitive verb love. The other adverb so describes the definition of adverb much. The adverb so specifies the intensity of the definition that another adverb much conveys. The adverb much emphasizes the definition of the transitive verb love. Thus, the adverb so describes the definition of the transitive verb indirectly. The adverb much describes the definition of the transitive verb love directly, and the other adverb so describes the definition of the adverb much. Then, what is the relationship between the adverb so and the transitive verb love? The adverb so describes the definition of the transitive verb love indirectly via the adverb much. The first role of the adverb is this. The adverb reveals the logical relationship between two clauses with the description about the verb in the other clause. There are clauses. I miss them so much. However, the independence is the purpose of the education. There are two clauses and the adverb, however, connects the logical relationship between the clauses. The adverb, however, reveals the reason why two clauses are arranged in a row. The conjunctional adverb, however, reveals that the condition of the speaker in the first clause is in the opposite relationship with the condition of the subject indicated by the phrase of the noun, the independence in the second clause with the comma. A clause is constituted with the constituents, a subject, a phrase of a verb, which are essential, and a complement, an object, with the consideration of the role of the constituent, a subject, and a phrase of a verb. The first clause is about the condition of the speaker. The condition of the subject, who is the speaker of this clause, is described by the transitive verb miss. And the condition of the subject indicated by the phrase of the noun, the independence, is described by the be verb is. The conjunctional adverb, however, reveals that the condition of the speaker and the condition of are opposite. The adverb to reveal the logical relationship between two clauses do not link two clauses. Two clauses are divided into two clauses. The conjunctional adverb, however, is applied in the latter clause to describe the definition of the miss in the first clause. The conjunctional adverb is signified by the comma to notify that this word is applied as a conjunctional adverb. The conjunctional adverb, however, in the second clause describes the transitive verb miss in the first clause.